Hey guys, welcome back to my channel via Glow. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a October recap. I actually like to do this at the end of every month since 2023 started, and it's been very helpful to kind of see my progress through the months, and this month was by far the best month that I've ever had in reselling. So let's just jump right in. So I made a total of 183 sales for the whole month. I cannot believe that I opened up another platform and then it actually kind of performed a little good. So I ended up opening up Curtsy like October 20th. So I did get like the tail end, not quite 2 weeks, but somewhere close to that. I made 5 sales there, which I was pretty happy about because again, I wouldn't have made those sales if I hadn't opened up the app. Mercari is definitely on the decline. I only made 15 sales over there, which is very shocking because I've always averaged about 25 sales no matter what. Like that was the bare minimum that I always averaged. But I realized that in April is when Mercari changed their shipping prices, and I do think that's when I started to see my sales trend downward. And yeah, it's bad. And I noticed that Mercari ran a few sales over there toward the end of October. I was actually one that participated in one of them. It was like $10 they gave you to spend on a $10 item. And then now I also got another coupon that's $20 on a $20 purchase. So I think that they are realizing that they are really like on the decline, so they're trying to zhuzh up some business, and it's actually quite sad. Like they even at some point, I want to say maybe a month ago, they brought the shipping rate down for UPS because I think UPS probably realized that nobody was choosing their option for shipping, so they was like, you know what, maybe we should stop being greedy and bring the price down. So I still don't use UPS, but I'm thinking that that might be a reason why Mercari is like trending downward. eBay was pretty much in the middle. Like it wasn't like a great month over there, but it wasn't like a terrible month. I noticed on eBay that my amount of sales have went down, but the amount that I'm making have went up. So I don't run that many sales. Of course, I've really like pushed out so many bad buys. Like I will either go ahead and sell them for a really low cost, or I would actually take it out of my inventory. I've already pulled a lot of inventory that I plan on selling to a buy sell trade store or donating, and I really just want to cleanse my marketplaces because I feel like once I can get these low tier items out, I can move forward and start making the profit margins that I would prefer instead of like the low tier stuff. So that's why on eBay I made it my duty to not do super steep discounts as far as like the offers that I would send out, because on the back end I'm not making as much as I would like. And I feel like where I'm at now, since I still have to phase out like bad quality items, $10 profit margin is where I'm at, but my goal is to bump that up to $15 in net profit. So that's my goal. Like after my fees and cost of goods, I want to profit $15 bottom barrel for each item. So that means I need to pick up items that are gonna sell for $20 and over every single time, so then I can meet that $15 profit margin. So I actually just want to cover some sales that I sold over $30. One of them I believe is $29, but it's close enough. But I did want to talk about it because I know that this brand definitely does get passed over a lot. So let's just jump right in. I'm gonna be looking at my phone, so excuse me. So this first one is actually from a brand called 𝕊𝕋, which is a menswear brand. I essentially pick this brand up every time I see it. It's some occasions that I don't pick it up if the the quality is bad, or if it's just like really low tier and it's just not worth picking up. But for the most part, they're wool pants, they're performance pants, golf pants, even their tops. I believe they sell pretty well. Sweaters, I've pretty much picked up everything, and I noticed that this one performed the best out of all of them. And these were just a pair of wool trousers. Like I told y'all in damn near every video, I pick up a lot of men's wool pants because they have been selling like hotcakes, so I like to pick them all up. This was my first time finding the brand 𝕊𝕋 in the wool pants, and they performed pretty well. This was a bundle that I received, and I was actually so happy to see him like these items. And of course my bot sent him an offer, but he bundled them and then sent me an offer, and it was a very reasonable offer. I believe the item was at like $42 together, and then he sent me like a $36 offer, I want to say, and I was really happy to get it out the door, mainly because I picked these up, I want to say earlier in the year, and this is around the time where I was just trying to, you know, pick up any and everything because I really wanted to just kind of get everything going. And these were 100% bad pickups. for the most part. Maybe now that I'm thinking about, maybe they weren't bad pickups, but I think I initially had them priced too high, and of course the waist was a size 40. So if you guys don't know, like the average size for a man is like a 32, 34, and these were size 40. So these definitely waited for the right buyer to get them, and here we are, you know, almost a year later. So all right, so these are some Tory Burch like sandal wedges. I actually got these from a regular thrift store, I want to say over the summer, and I waited around and waited around. I remember receiving a message on eBay. She was interested in the item. I think she was actually going to go ahead and buy it because I sent out offers for like $55, I want to say. And she asked me why was I selling them, and then of course I was being truthful and I said, well, I sell clothes for a living. And then she just like ghosted me. So I was just like, and we have went back and forth. Like, that's the crazy thing, we have went back and forth, and then that was the final question, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's, she don't want to buy from me. But these end up selling for $75. I had them listed, I want to say at like $115. Kept getting a lot of offers, and I think they relisted twice, and then that's when this person sent me $75, and I said of course. So I think $75 is a great price point. I think I must have paid like $8 or $9 for them. This is a Anthropologie jumpsuit. It is from the brand Saturday Sunday, which is sold at Anthropologie, and this one I ended up getting, I want to say in the springtime, so I knew that this was going to take a while to sell, and I did have it priced at $45, and every time it relisted, still at $45. And this one relisted for the final time, and this person came in and bought it for my price point that Poshmark sends them. So I was really happy with that sale. So this is a St. John's Bay suede leather jacket. I typically don't pick this brand up, but for the right fabric, I will. And this one didn't take long to sell, maybe like 2 weeks tops. All right, so this is from a brand called Tipsy Elves. I sourced this at the bins, and I was actually happy to pick it up. I recently watched a video from a reseller couple, Amy and Dan, I want to say, and they were talking about how Tipsy Elves quality just feels a little bit different, and I couldn't help but realize that that's exactly how I felt when I saw it at the bins. Like, you touch it and it doesn't feel cheap. Like, it feels very thick, and like you would think it would be a different fabric, but it's acrylic. And yeah, it's just the quality of it is so much nicer, and I would say 100% pick up Tipsy Elves if you see it, especially if it's at a low cost of goods, because I do guarantee you will make over $40 for it, no matter what the size is. All right, so this was a new to me brand called Marie Sassoon. It did have that mixed media where it had the knit on the back, leather in the front. It was orange, it was 90s, it was vintage, it was all the vibes. So I said, you know what, let me just take a risk, and I'm glad I did, because this one did sell for my full asking price. So I don't know if this was just maybe a one-off, or if the leather was a great, you know, stance, if it was the mixed media, if it was the color, like, I don't even know, but I'm happy that I got it. This is a Torrid jacket. Y'all know at the bins I pretty much experiment, and I experimented, and I'm glad that this one turned out right. This one did sell for my full asking price. I think moving forward, I will be more mindful to pick up, you know, Torrid 4 and over, you know. I didn't even know that they went up to a 6, which I think is amazing. This is Peter Millar, which is a great menswear brand. I was happy to find this at the bins, and this one sold literally the exact same day. I did have a ship with me video talking about this item, but this was a great pickup, and especially the size was an extra large. It was just a given that it was going to perform really well. This was a LL Bean flannel jacket. I was so happy the day that I found this, because I actually found it with another piece that I had planned on keeping, but I decided I'm gonna let it go. But found it in a new bin, and all the crazy people didn't run over to the new bins because the people didn't like announce like, hey, you can go or whatever. So nobody came rushing over. So I went over, I picked up quite a few things, and this is the third thing to sell out of the 4 items I picked up from that specific bin. So we love that. This was sourced, I want to say over the summer, but I knew that I wanted to get a decent amount for it because it was just amazing quality. Honestly, y'all, if I was able to fit this, I would have ended up keeping this, just because like this was in excellent condition, and it's just so pretty, and y'all know I love tan colors, so I would have kept it if I could fit it. So that was pretty sad, but this one did sell through an offer. This was a Good American shirt. I found this at the bins, and it did reek of smoke, and then I, you know, vinegar bathed it, and then I washed it, and then it came out excellent. So this one did sell through an offer to, you know, watchers or likers, and yeah, I was pretty happy with that sale because it was a really fast turnaround. I want to say literally either a day it sold, like either same day or that next morning, so we love that. This was actually sold to a viewer. Hey girl, hey. She, you know, let me know that she saw it in a haul and was it still available. I told her how to find it on my closet, and she found it. She sent me a very reasonable offer. I accepted it, and yeah, we love that. I just have this thing in my heart with picking up these type of sweaters that is just so hard for me to leave them behind, because it's like the quality is great. Like, they don't make things like this anymore. Like, this was like hand stitched and made with love, okay? All right, this was a Lululemon bundle. So this man actually bundled both of these items. One of them was from the bins, and the other one was from a regular thrift store. And ironically enough, they had the pants in the women's section. And you could literally look and feel Lululemon, and you know exactly what it is. I didn't even have to see a tag. I already knew it was Lululemon. Once I felt it and I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this is, you know, one of Lululemon's pants, either the ABC or commission, is one or the two. And yeah, so this person went on and bundled both of these, and it sold for $95, I want to say. So we love that. So these were a pair of Cobby pants. I actually was pretty upset at myself because when I listed this, I listed it at the wrong size, and I couldn't understand why it was taking so long to sell. So I actually looked over the photos and then the description, and I'm like, wait, there's a discrepancy. So I ended up changing it to the right size, and it ended up selling through an offer to watchers, and I was really happy about that because that could have sat for a long time, and then I could have just kept saying, why is it not selling, and why is it not selling? So once I looked it over, I'm like, okay, that's why it's not selling. These are a pair of Everlane men's pants. This is actually my very first time picking up Everlane pants that were for the men's department, and these sold fairly quickly. I want to say within a week. It was through an offer to liker. So like I said, I do have an automatic offer system through Poshmark to send out offers to anybody that liked my item, and this person bought it at that offer price, which was $31 in discounted shipping. So I think it was a really great pickup. I think that maybe Everlane men's items perform a lot better than women's items, but that's just my thought. These are a pair of athletic hobble pants. I was shocked that these actually sold for my full asking price. I was very much so willing to let them go for $30, but girl, $48, thank you. These are definitely popular, or I guess they were popular over the summer, but I would still pick them up if I find them. You can never go wrong with linen pants. These are a pair of Lululemon leggings. Also sourced these at the bins. These didn't take long to sell. I want to say a few days tops. These actually ended up selling for that discounted price plus shipping, and they purchased it, so I was really happy with that price point. $1 into 45 any day, I'll take it. All right, so this was a show me your moo-moos dress. I actually found this at the bins, and I was really happy to find it because they did change their label, and I noticed that it was the newer style. So I was like, okay, great, this one should do great. And since it was a bridesmaid's dress, I knew that it probably would have took a little while to sell. However, it didn't. I want to say it took maybe 3 or 4 months to sell. And yeah, this one sold for a, you know, offer to likers, discounted shipping, and they accepted it, so we love that. These were a pair of those 𝕊𝕋 pants that I sourced in one of my reseller vlogs. This one sold just as well as the other one did. I think it was the same person that I went back and forth with for like a good week, and then he finally came up to 38 and I accepted it. So I think that's a great brand to pick up. Definitely want to look into the style that you're picking up in 𝕊𝕋, but for the most part, the brand does great. All right, so now we're going to move on to eBay. These are a pair of Lululemon men's pants. These actually were sourced at the bins, and I was really happy that they did sell for my full asking price, only because the inseam was really short. So it starts getting a little murky when you get like a higher you know, waist and then a lower inseam, because it's not that many men that are like chunky and short, you know. But I was grateful. I was grateful that, you know, I was able to provide something for somebody, so we love that. These are a pair of Sid and Mashburn corduroy pants. I've actually never found this brand before. I never heard of this brand. So when I saw the label, I was like, and then I looked into it and I was so happy that I did. I definitely undersold these. These minimum should have sold for like $45, but I'm okay with $35. These were a Ben's pickup, so I can't be too greedy. All right, so this is actually going to be my item of the month, and it's this Frank and Eileen skirt. And I saw this one and I just looked at it out on a whim because it just looked like it was oddly placed in that area. And then I seen Frank and Eileen and I was like, oh my god. So I was just ecstatic when I found it. And this is 100% a Bolo brand. If you ever come across it, pick it up. I know that quite literally everything sells in this brand. I saw people sell like a regular plain button-down shirt for over $130. So if you find this brand, pick it up every single time. So this was actually a new to me brand called Jill Sanders. I watched a YouTube video right before I left to go sourcing, and I saw the label because they showed the label and stuff. I know that I don't do that and I'm sorry, but they showed the label and I'm like, interesting. Tell me why that exact same day I was in the bins and I saw the blazer, then I saw the pants. I was like, oh wow, look at God. And yeah, so these actually sold for a discount. So I must have ran like a little sale. I had them listed at $59.99 and they purchased them at $50.99. So I think that's a great return on investment on a Ben's item. So any day I will pick up Jill Sanders. Like, really, really great brand. And then again, this one also has wool in it. So I think men are just really searching for wool pants at this moment. All right, this was my very first bundle on eBay, so I had to like create it myself. It was just these 3 items. They messaged me and they was like, hey, how much would it be for this, this, and this? I said, I don't know. The other item, honestly, I didn't know because I do have multiple, you know, free people, We the Free tops. So they went and like, you know, set this one and this one, and I was like, hey, I can do 45, which is just $15 per item. I got all 3 of these from the bin, so my cost of goods is $3. So I was like, I can do, you know, 45, and they said great, and they loved it. They was actually really happy with this. I think they left me positive feedback, so we love that. All right, this was a very fun find when I found it over the summer. So this was an item that was made in 1984 specifically. And I was just really happy because it is from a brothel. Like, I'm not going to give the whole rundown because I think I've referenced this like 2 times already on my channel, but this was a great item to pick up. Definitely a one-off. I don't know if I'll ever come across it again because this is from Las Vegas, Nevada. So there's that. This was a tucker nut dress. I was so happy to find this at the bins, and this also, like that good American item, I had to give it a vinegar bath because it did smell like smoke, and found it. This one sold within a week. I do feel like I 1000% undersold this. I should have never ran a sale on this one, but this lady came in and purchased it. She wanted me to ship it to a different address. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You can go in and change your address or whatever the case. But we ended up not doing that. But then I recognized one day, I don't even know when it was, but I saw that I got a notification that the return was closed, and I'm like, what? So I go and look at it, and she put in for a return for the item is too big, and I don't accept returns. So tough cookie. So the next thing to sell was actually this Vince alpaca wool cardigan. Got this over the summer. I did list it pretty high, and this one did take a little while to sell. Of course, gotta wait for the season. And this one sold for my full asking price of $39.97. I did want to get $40 for this, so I made sure I did not drop the price at all, even though it wasn't like technically selling. I still knew that I was gonna get a decent amount for it, given the size, the style, and the fabric. So $40, I'll take it. This was a Polo Ralph Lauren jacket. Again, this is a brand that I have quite literally slowed down picking up. I'm very mindful of what I get. It's either going to be vintage, it's either going to be like a nice colorway, a larger size. It's something specific about it. That's why I'm getting it. I just don't pick it up just to pick it up anymore, because it does sit and then you don't get to, you know, make the profit that you want. However, this one did great. I think $35 was a great price point to make on a Ben's item, so we love that. All right, y'all, this is another pair of Lululemon pants. I've sold a total of 4 this month, and I think that's all that I have, which is so sad because they always sell for a good price point. These, I must have sent out offers because these shouldn't have been no $45 because these were like the perfect size, 32 by 32. You can't beat that size. So they got a great deal on these, but usually $50 is around the price point that I want on these type of items. All right, so the last thing to sell on eBay was this Eileen Fisher wool alpaca cardigan. I know for a fact I probably could have got more, but I have learned over time that I would prefer an item to sell than for me to keep it for X amount more weeks or months just to get an additional $10 or $15. So I made sure that I priced this accordingly, and I make sure I also check comps. I make sure I check the market because I don't want to overprice my items anymore because it just doesn't work for me in the long run. Like, I feel like a lot of the times we price items at what we want to get for them versus what the market is telling us what this item is actually worth, you know? So given the size and the fabric content, $40 was very reasonable for this item, and this one sold within a few days. So I think when you price your item accordingly, you're gonna get a sale. All right, so move on to Mercari. This platform is just so depressing. But this one I was actually really happy for because I know that I'll talk to you guys about a few handmade items that I love them so much that I pick them up and then they don't perform well. This one performed well, okay? I had this one initially listed, I wanna say at $45. I was gonna get about 25 to 30 for it. And I made sure that I plugged all the right keywords in. I put handmade vintage sweater, extra large, floral, hippie, winter holiday, granola girl, boho, and the girls came for it. Like, they came for it. This one sold within like 2 days of me listing it. So this is a very fast flip. This one sold for $30 and I would 100% pick it up again. And Granola Girl is such a slept on tag. Cottagecore is amazing, but Granola Girl, it's the one. This was a blue jeans like velour jacket. I never heard of the brand, but I picked it up because it was an extra large and I thought, you know, it was kind of cool. Y'all, me and this buyer went back and forth, okay? After she purchased it, like, we had an issue with shipping. So this particular buyer wanted to know why was this item on the East Coast when she lives on the West Coast. And for me, once I ship out the item and I noticed that I didn't, you know, have any mistakes in the shipping process, then I know for a fact that it's not on me. So I go and look at tracking and I notice that it's in Rhode Island. I'm in Texas, so this item made it to Massachusetts and then Rhode Island, and she lives in Northern California. So I just told her, hey, you know, I print out your label like I always do everybody else's label, and then I just shipped it out. Like, it's nothing that I did for your item was different. So then she was like, oh, well, why is it over there and I'm over here? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I said, maybe it's just their route. And I guess that must upset her. So she is like going on about like, why is it over there? Like, I'm over here. That just doesn't make any sense. Da, 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 da. And at that point, it was in the middle of the night. I had my son and I got very snarky. I said, I don't work for USPS, so I don't know why it's there. And then she did ask, like, what service did you use? I said, USPS. Like, you could see that in the tracking info. And I said that too, which was very rude. So I do want to take accountability. Like, I shouldn't have messaged her in the middle of the night when I'm already not getting enough sleep. I should have waited, you know, but I gave her that snarky remarks. So of course, after she responds to my snarky message, she's essentially just saying, like, you know, I never said you work for USPS. Why is my package over here? Just pretty much reiterating what we've already been talking about. So then I go in very professional at this point and I let her know, like, hey, I said that I don't work for USPS because once I ship the item, it is outside of my hands. So if USPS decide to take your item all the way to New York, take it to Canada, take it to Hawaii, and then take it to Australia, and then take it to you in California, that's their choosing. That has nothing to do with me. So it just was a headache. I'm gonna be honest. This is the very first time, actually no, this is the second time that I've had an issue with the buyer after they've paid for the item, and both of them have been on Mercari due to shipping. And I don't think that it's fair that the seller has to deal with this type of shit, because I shipped the item. You literally can see the whole little transaction of the day that I, did the label, the day that I dropped it off at the USPS. And you can see when USPS took it to Massachusetts. You can see when it took it to, like, I didn't make the rules. Like, I didn't say, hey, y'all, make sure y'all take this to the East Coast and then take it to the West Coast. What good does that do me? Like, if I have to wait to be rated, like, So this actually was delivered yesterday. So I don't know if she's gonna do the thing where she gives me a negative review, because I'm already getting my 1-star review ready. I already know exactly what I'm gonna say. Or she's just gonna wait the 3 days so she doesn't get, a 1-star review, because if you wait the 3 days, it auto rates, so both of us will get 5 stars. But honestly, I'm kind of hoping that she does rate me, because I want to give her a 1 star, because this experience was very just like traumatizing. But yeah, all right, so this is a 𝕊𝕋𝕄𝕄𝕇 formal dress. I know now, because I already talked to y'all before, I've been picking up, everything from Lane Bryant. Well, I was anyways, and I just completely stopped because I noticed that it sits and sits and sits and sits. But I noticed that this one sold for the price point that I would have liked it to sell for, and then it also sold fairly quickly. So that leads me to believe that I do need to start picking up formal Lane Bryant and not casual Lane Bryant, and that's just what I'm going to do moving forward. I had this listed, I want to say at $38. They sent me a $30 offer. I quickly accepted it because I thought that was a great price point for a bins item. All right, so the last thing to sell on Mercari over $30 was this Victoria's Secret pajama set. I have amazing luck picking up pajama sets at the bins. This is like my 3rd time now finding sets, which is crazy. Actually, 4th time, and they all perform really well. So this one didn't take long to sell. This one literally took maybe like 3 or 4 days, and they sent me an offer. I think I must have had it at $38. They sent $35 offer, and I was just like, wow, you were just so kind. So of course I accepted it, and they were a few cities over from me, so I thought that was pretty cool. So they literally got it the next day, so that was nice. All right, so moving on to Curtsy. This is actually a band tee that I got, I want to say, in the spring, and I priced it high as hell because it was just like rare. And y'all, this one just took forever to sell. I had a run-in with someone that was trying to lowball me, and then I was like, no. And lo and behold, here we are, not even almost a year later, because it's not even really been 6 months. So yeah, this one sold for $64, but Curtsy has this thing where it can go on autopilot. Essentially, they'll drop your prices and send out offers to people that like your item, which I think is pretty cool. And you can set your like lowest, and since I imported everything, I didn't like manually do anything, which is bad. So I don't know how low my prices might end up being dropped to. So that's just another thing to make sure you do your due diligence in looking at that aspect of it, because I definitely didn't. But I feel like since I price my items accordingly, if they do, drop down to 30%, I'm fine with that too, because that's essentially where I stop at when it comes to a sale. It's like, okay, whatever I listed it at, 35% is the most that I'm willing to go off on it, except on eBay. Like 20% is where I draw my line on eBay, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, this one sold for $57. I think I profited $51, so it was a great sale. And the last thing on Curtsy to sell over $30 was actually this Giorgio Armani silk top. Now y'all, I didn't know that this was actually as special as it actually was. When I found it at the bins, I'm like, oh, this is pretty. I'm like, I feel like I've heard Giorgio Armani before, but I didn't think anything of it. Once I saw that it was 100% silk, I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna take it for sure. And then I did my comps on it. I'm like, oh wow, like this actually performs really well. So this one, I didn't list it high intentionally because I wanted to get like a $50 quick sale. Because a lot of them sold for like $75, like a lot of them. So I didn't want to be greedy. So this one ended up being on autopilot, and it sent them an offer and they accepted it. So I was really happy with that sale. So we got two $50 sales over there, and we love that. All right, so for the recap portion, I didn't do anything different for Poshmark. I kept the 25% off offer to likers going the whole month, but it did amazing for me in August. It did amazing in September, so I thought that I shouldn't even mess with it, so I just ran the exact same sale. I did send out I want to say 40% off offers to all men items. Didn't make any sales from it. I am trying to flush out some of my bad buys for the men's, because my bin is getting so full and I just want to get rid of some of them. So I'm probably going to run something close to that this month just to kind of phase everything out. But the problem with that is that I do have items that are better quality items that I've recently sourced that I don't want to be, you know, 50% off. So that is something that I need to think about. As far as eBay, everything kind of remained the same as well. I did run 2 weekend sales. I typically kind of like to rotate them. Before, I would try to do the first and the last month, just so I can try to, you know, make as much profit in the beginning, make as much profit in the end. But I didn't do that, so I think I did like the second and then the third week, which was not good because they were back to back. So yeah, I ran a weekend sale, and I don't think any of them really performed any different than any regular weekend that I have. Like, I'm always coming out the weekend with like maybe 9 or 10 sales from eBay, so it's nothing ever different. So I probably need to consider that, because if you're running a sale, the intent behind that is to make more sales, you know, and I'm not making more sales. I'm making the exact same that I made the previous week where I didn't run a sale. So I don't know. I definitely stopped waiting for a certain amount of offers to be like had until I sent them out. So before, I want to say in September and August and July, I would wait until I reached maybe like 40 likes, and then I would send out bulk offers. And then sometimes I think I would wait until like that Friday. I would let them all accumulate, and then on Friday I would send out offers. But when I'm going back to July, because I feel like that's when I really made the change for eBay, I have not done anything like really drastic. So as far as the amount of sales that I get, and as far as the amount of money that I make on eBay, nothing is different. Everything is quite literally the exact same. So I'm only averaging about 60 to 70 sales on eBay. So nothing is really different. And I probably should really just stop doing what I'm doing, because nothing is like mattering at this point. All right, and then as far as Mercari, like I said, it's just on a slow tread of like death, okay? Because I went from making an average of 25 to 28 sales every single month consistently to now I'm barely bringing in 15. But yeah, Mercari is just like slowly dying, and I know that I have said that I'm probably gonna like phase out the platform, but it's just kind of like, I've been with them so long, y'all. Like, they were like my baby in 2020, because Depop started going downhill for me. So then I opened up Mercari, and Mercari, I was making consistent sales over there. I was averaging about 10 a week, and at the time, of course, I was part-time. So I just have like this special place for Mercari. But I gave up Depop, and Depop was my very first platform, and I might end up having to do it with Mercari, because, so I always had it in my head that if Mercari ever gets to a place where I'm averaging 10 sales per month, I will get off the platform, because I don't think 10 sales per month is worth my time of like cross-listing. And that's a little bit of time that I could save quite literally like every single day, because I'm listing 5 days a week. So then that way I can just kind of phase out that marketplace, because it just wouldn't make any sense to get on the platform and I'm barely making anything on it, but I'm wasting more time than I'm actually making money on. So it's just, I don't want it to happen. Like, I was completely content with making 25 sales a month, like completely content. And then just out of nowhere, it just was like, on second thought, we aren't gonna perform that good. Like, it just slowly, and it's like it happened so quickly. Like, I didn't really pay attention until, of course, over the summer when summer slowdown happened. But I'm like, I'm averaging 25 sales every single month, and out of nowhere it was 18, then it was 14, and then, you know, I'm a week into the month and I only made 1 sale, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? So yeah, I have tried to give more attentiveness to it because I feel like prior to it being on a decline, I never attended to the platform as far as like sending out offers and like doing that type of you know, thing to zhuzh it up. But recently, like the last couple of months, I've been sending out aggressive offers and they just don't accept, because Mercari is quite literally geared toward people that are, you know, selling items for like $5-10 to just get rid of them. They're not really there for people to, you know, be full-time resellers, you know, unless you are selling like lower quality items, or you're selling like you know, electronics and stuff. Like clothes on Mercari just doesn't seem like it's like being pushed out as much as the other things, and that's just my stance. Let me know how you feel about Mercari. So I did go in to drop prices on Mercari. I went in to send offers, and it's just to no avail. That nothing has changed, and it's just getting worse. Like it's just the trend is like worse and worse and worse. I'm actually going to look back and see how many sales have I made so far this year on Mercari specifically, and just kind of give a breakdown and see kind of like how it looks. Hopefully I'm able to pop that on the screen for y'all and just kind of go over January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and then now, and just to see how many sales I made on that platform, because I was averaging about $500 to $600 a month on Mercari, which I was completely okay with. But now it's like I'm barely making $300 over there, like barely, you know, and that's just not worth my time. So all right, so moving on to Curtsy. Like I told y'all before, I just opened Curtsy on October 20th, and it is performing decently. So far I've only made the 5 sales, but yeah, I think Curtsy has a lot of potential. I do sell like mature, and then like, you know, teenage, and then, you know, middle-aged millennials and all of that. Like I try to, you know, sell everything for everybody. Like I say, I sell men's, I sell women's, I sell children's, and I sell pets. Okay, well, no, I don't sell your pets, but you know what I'm trying to say. I sell the items for your pets, for your kids, for your husband, for your wife. Like I sell all the things because I want all the money. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, y'all. Moving forward, I think the only thing, like I said, I'm going to change for Poshmark is I'm going to not inflate my prices as much. So instead of me going on the highest tier of what this item could sell for, I'm going to try to kick it right in the middle, and then I'm going to lower my offer to likers. And then as far as Mercari, I'm just gonna drop the prices when I am cross-listing. So instead of me listing an item for $28 on Poshmark because I wanted to sell for $15.20, I'm gonna start it off at like $24 on Mercari, so then I can receive an $18 offer. So I'm gonna tweak it that way, and we'll see how it goes. And then as far as eBay, what am I gonna do differently? I don't know what I want to do differently on eBay, because it seems like no matter what I do, I'm doing the exact same thing. Like I'm basically running in place. Yeah, I entertain the idea of opening up like the offers, but I don't, because I feel like I'm gonna have to go in and change all of my prices if I, you know, update the offers. Because if I'm listing something at like lower than market, and then I open up my offer, somebody's gonna, you know, probably do a steep discount, and it's like, no, it's not happening, buddy. But yeah, y'all, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Please let me know down below how your month of October went. Was it great? Was it bad? Because your girl actually hit her goal. Okay, I surpassed my little goal, and hopefully November is even better. That is the goal. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one.